What is building bylaws? Building bylaws, also known as building codes or regulations, are essential legal documents that govern the design, construction, and occupancy of buildings. These bylaws are crucial for ensuring the safety, functionality, and sustainability of structures. While building codes serve a common purpose worldwide, there are significant differences between those enforced in the United States and Europe. Historical development. One of the primary differences between building bylaws in the USA and Europe lies in their historical development. European building codes often have centuries-old roots, reflecting the region's rich architectural history. These codes have evolved over time to incorporate modern construction practices while preserving historical structures and aesthetics. In contrast, the USA relies on more recent codes, which prioritize contemporary concerns like safety and energy efficiency. Enforcement authorities. Building bylaws in Europe are typically administered and enforced at the municipal or local level. Each municipality may have its own set of regulations, leading to variations in building codes between regions. This decentralized approach allows for flexibility but can also result in complexity, particularly for construction companies working across multiple jurisdictions. In contrast, the USA employs a more centralized approach to building codes. The International Code Council, ICC, publishes the International Building Code, IBC, which forms the basis for most state and local codes across the country. This unified system simplifies compliance for builders working across different states. Sustainability and energy efficiency. European building codes tend to place a stronger emphasis on sustainability and energy efficiency compared to their American counterparts. Europe has been at the forefront of green building practices, with many countries adopting stringent regulations to reduce energy consumption and environmental impact. For instance, the Passive House Standard, originating in Germany, sets exceptionally high standards for energy-efficient construction. In the USA, green building practices have been slower to develop, although they are gaining momentum. The Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design (LEED) certification system has become a popular choice for environmentally conscious construction projects. However, its adoption is voluntary, whereas many European countries have integrated similar principles into their mandatory building codes. Structural design and seismic considerations. Another critical difference lies in structural design and seismic considerations. European countries that are prone to earthquakes, such as Italy and Greece, have stringent seismic building codes in place. These codes require the use of specific construction techniques and materials to enhance earthquake resistance. In contrast, seismic regulations in the USA are primarily concentrated in regions with a higher seismic risk, such as California. Accessibility and inclusivity. Building bylaws in Europe often lead the way in terms of accessibility and inclusivity standards. European codes frequently mandate features such as accessible entrances, ramps, and elevators, ensuring that buildings are accessible to people with disabilities. In the USA, the Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA, sets federal standards for accessibility, but implementation varies between states and municipalities. Fire safety regulations. Fire safety regulations vary significantly between the USA and Europe. European countries, such as the United Kingdom and Germany, place a strong emphasis on fire prevention and suppression measures. This includes requirements for fire-resistant materials, sprinkler systems, and fire escapes in multi-story buildings. In contrast, fire safety regulations in the USA are often more decentralized, with individual states and local authorities having a significant say in the specific requirements. Building heights and density. Building height and density restrictions differ between the two regions. In Europe, especially in densely populated cities, there is often a focus on preserving historical skylines and maintaining lower building heights to preserve aesthetics. European cities prioritize urban planning that blends historical architecture with modern construction. In contrast, many cities in the USA, such as New York and Chicago, have embraced taller skyscrapers and greater population density. These variations are reflected in building codes, which set the parameters for height and density. Environmental impact assessments. Europe leads the way in incorporating environmental impact assessments into building codes. Many European countries mandate comprehensive assessments for new construction projects to evaluate their environmental impact, including factors like carbon emissions, energy use, and ecosystem disruption. These assessments inform decisions on whether to proceed with a project and often require mitigation measures. In the USA, environmental impact assessments are generally required for large-scale developments but are not as consistently integrated into building codes. Materials and construction techniques. Building materials and construction techniques can differ based on building codes. European building codes frequently promote the use of durable and energy-efficient materials, such as double-glazed windows and high-performance insulation. In the USA, materials and techniques may vary more widely due to regional preferences and local building code variations. Cultural and historical preservation. Many European building codes place a strong emphasis on cultural and historical preservation. In cities with centuries-old architectural heritage, such as Prague or Venice, codes prioritize the protection of historical buildings and districts. In contrast, while the USA also has historical preservation regulations, they tend to be more localized and vary significantly between cities. In conclusion, while building bylaws in the USA and Europe share the overarching goal of ensuring safe and sustainable construction, their approaches and specific regulations diverge due to historical, cultural, and environmental factors. Recognizing these differences is crucial for professionals working on international projects to navigate the regulatory landscape effectively and deliver buildings that meet local requirements while upholding high standards of safety and sustainability. Building bylaws are an integral part of construction projects worldwide, ensuring that buildings are safe, sustainable, and functional. While the basic principles are consistent, the specific regulations and their enforcement vary significantly between the USA and Europe. Understanding these differences is crucial for architects, builders, and developers working on international projects. By navigating the contrasting building codes effectively, they can deliver structures that meet local requirements while upholding the highest standards of safety, sustainability, and accessibility. In an increasingly interconnected world, collaboration and knowledge sharing between regions can help bridge the gap between these two approaches to building bylaws, ultimately contributing to more efficient and resilient construction practices globally. Please feel free to like, share, and comment.